The Yemen civil war has been a major international crisis since 2015. It has since then killed millions of civilians. More than 60% have been the result of Saudi-led airstrikes. The UN says Yemen, one of the Arab world's poorest country, has been devastated by a civil war. Here we explain what is fueling the fighting and who is involved. Houthi rebel fighters entered Sana'a in September 2014 and took full control in January 2015. The conflict has its roots in the failure of a political transition supposed to bring stability to Yemen following an Arab Spring uprising that forced its long authoritarian President Ali Abdullah Saleh to hand over power to his deputy Abdul Rabbuh Mansur Hadi in 2011. As president, Mr. Hadi struggled to deal with a variety of problems, including attacks by jihadists, a separatist movement in the south, and continuing loyalty of security personnel to Saleh. The UN has stated that at least 7,700 civilians left by March 2020, with most caused by Saudi-led coalition airstrikes. More than 23,000 fatalities were reported in 2019, making it the second most lethal year of the war so far. Okay. And also, about 80% of the population, 24 million people, need humanitarian assistance and protection. Some 20 million people need help securing food, according to the UN. Almost 10 million of them are considered one step away from famine. An estimated 2 million children are acutely malnourished, including almost 360,000 children under 5-year-old who are struggling to survive. Yemen has been deemed as the world's worst humanitarian crisis that resulted over 60% of the civilians and also face problems such as malnutrition, poverty, and also death. Leave to Azri and Aiman to continue our discussion about this topic.
Yemen crisis involving wars between several parties such as the Saudi-led coalition, the Houthi groups, Al-Qaeda and United States involvement has led to the country's worst crisis. As a result of ongoing conflict, the people of Yemen has suffered and other humanitarian crises. Civilians not involved in the war are often victims of violence, killings, famine, and their rights are ignored. This can be referred to in Article 3, the Declaration of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that every person has the right to the life, liberty. In 2018, the coalition bombed a wedding, killing 20 people, including 8 children, and in another strike bombs a bus filled with children, killing at least 26 children. According to the UN, Yemen's humanitarian crisis is the worst in the world, with close to 80% of Yemen's population of nearly 30 million needing some form of assistance. That's all caused by war. Thus, there is a clear violation of human rights against the people of Yemen. There are two things ignored by those involved in the armed conflict in Yemen. First, not implementing the distinction principle. It is one of the key principles in the international humanitarian law which distinguish the people of the country who at war with two groups, combat and non-combat. When distinguished between these two groups, the action of violence against the civilians can be avoided. The evolving parties of the Houthi and Saudi Arabia did not implement the principal distinction and were less responsible in the matter of the armed conflict. Second, not implementing the principle of protection. It is to protect the civilians in the armed conflict. It is in accordance with international humanitarian law and Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to Madam Aim and my fellow friends. So for my part, I will explain about the foreign intervention that happened in Yemen. So I will explain about what the foreign intervention is, the definition of intervention act that influence the internal affair of the state. So intervention are different from war or conquest. So foreign intervention can be understood by the way of act that been decided in the foreign policy, and there's a many way of foreign intervention such as espionage and trade sanction, foreign trade, and many more. So the intervention, for example, the intervention that happened in Poland that was led by Hitler is not considered as the intervention, but it considered as an invasion of Poland that was made by Hitler, because it was conducted by the way of military. So the intervention that happened in Yemen is the intervention from Saudi-led coalition with United Arab Emirates, UAE, make the Yemen even in worse condition before the war happened. And the crisis was started from the year of 2014, where the Houthi movement took over the capital of Yemen, Sana'a, in 2015. So Yemen president fled to Saudi and seek their help to overcome the civil war that happened in Yemen. The coalition aimed to restore Yemen president rule and evicted the Houthi from Yemen capital. This is what is stated by Shah on 2020. So the Saudi-led coalition was supported by US, and even the President Trump praised US and UAE in terms of because of their effort to stabilize Yemen back to normal. And this is quote based on Bazi on 2018. In the other hand, Houthi was supported by the Iranian government. They sent the military aid to the Houthi rebellion. This made the Houthi increase their threat toward the Saudi-led coalition. So in terms of foreign policy toward Yemen, Saudi foreign policy toward Yemen are that they keep Yemen as their friends, and Yemen as do not want any conflict with their neighboring border. So as we can see that recently the Houthi start to attack the border of Saudi because of they want to trap Saudi. So today there is no need to fear about a too strong Yemen, and Saudi hope is the nation that become too weak. If Yemen were too weak, it can lead the unfactional state, and it can cause even worse scenario in the region. So that was the Saudi policy to Yemen. They plan to make Yemen weak in order they can control Yemen government. So we can see the intervention that made by Saudi-led coalition and the Iranian government toward Yemen is make things even worse for the Yemen crisis. Because as we can see, before the coalition, before the civil war happened, Yemen was among the poorest nation at the Arab region. So that's wrap all about the foreign intervention that was made by Saudi-led coalition and by the Iranian government.